back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review on the newly launched Kay Beauty Eyeshadow Palettes, and I'm also not palettes, just one palette, and I'm going to do a 3-in-1 sort of a demo or tutorial using this palette. So I got the palette in the shade Bare Soul. Now let me tell you why I got this one. So I'm pretty sure you know Kay Beauty launched 4 eyeshadow palettes. One is called Self Love, one is Wild and Free, one is Bare Soul, and one is Pure Bloom. So if you ask me which one I relate to the most, then that is self-love, because I have worked very hard to reach to a point where I love myself completely with all my flaws. So immediately I was attracted towards self-love, and the shades in self-love are totally my shades. You know how much I love my berries and my wine shades, but I didn't get that palette because that is just my comfort zone. I keep on creating such berry and purple wine looks, and that's why I checked out the other palettes and I was attracted by the Bare Soul palette. I mean, the swatches of this palette were really deep and rich and, you know, browns, and I like browns also. So I got this. It's kind of a neutral everyday glam sort of a palette. So let's talk about the packaging really quickly. So this is the outer packaging, and this is an illustration which is done by Gauravi Sharma. So I have never seen an eyeshadow palette with such a packaging. You know, this is so unique, very pretty. She has like purple hair and a very bright blue bird and moon. It's very attractive and unique, and I can see how much effort must have gone behind this. And towards the back we have some simple steps of creating an eyeshadow look. So inside this also there is one case, and then your actual palette is over here. So this is a 9-pan palette. Mine looks very dirty right now because I have just used it, but I'll show you the clean palette when I had got it for the first time. But yeah, it's a 9-pan eyeshadow palette with a quite decent mirror, I would say, and it has this magnetic closure. It is very compact and small size, so it's easy to travel with, and this retails for 1,200, which in my opinion is a little too much for an eyeshadow palette. Okay, so the first shade is called Creme. It's a very nice creamy beige. Then we have Copper, which is a shimmer shade and it's nice and pigmented. Then we have Latte. I'm not a huge fan of Latte. As you can see, it's not that pigmented and it doesn't show up on my skin that well. Then we have Toast, which is an orangey brown. Then we have Champagne, which is a shimmer shade and it almost feels like a foiled eyeshadow. Then we have Cedar, which is also not my favorite. It's very chalky and not that pigmented. Then we have Tan, which is a nice warm brown. I like this shade. Next one is Chocolate, which is a very deep and rich chocolate color. I like this one also. And the last one is Charcoal. The texture of this shade is just like charcoal powder. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, these are all of the swatches. I don't like these two. These two don't show up on me that well. So to use all of the shades, what I did was that I created one look using each of the columns. So the first one is with this row, which is like a daytime glam look. The next one is this one, which is a very nice and red carpet or like a night event kind of a look. And the third one is today's look, which is a smoky eye, which I really like. I'm impressed with this column. But yeah, let's go through the 3 looks and then we'll come back for my final review. Okay, so let's start with the first look. I'm going to go in with this eyeshadow called Latte into my crease. It's a very light brown matte eyeshadow. Now I'm going to go in with this Copper metallic shade. This is the star eyeshadow of today's look. It is really pigmented and metallic, but with this brush I was not getting enough intensity. So what I did is that I took my setting spray. This is the NYX setting spray, and I wet my brush, and now when I picked up the product, it definitely intensified the look. As you can see, it is so much more metallic and shimmery now. But I also went in with my finger, and let me tell you, your fingers are the best. So definitely use your fingers for these metallic shades. Now for my eyeliner, I'm going to go in with the Maybelline gel eyeliner. This is called the Lasting Drama Gel Eyeliner, and my liner was so dry that I struggled in creating a wing. As you can see, my wing is not super sharp. It is stubby because it was so dry. I definitely struggled with my wings. So I went in with the Latte shade again onto my lower lash line. And then Tanu came to say hello, and my eyeshadow matches Tanu today. But I went in with the Copper eyeshadow onto my lower lash line. Now for Kajal, I'm going to go in with the Kay Beauty Kajal. For mascara, I took the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I love this mascara. It gives so much length and volume. So I'm adding this to my upper and lower lash line. So for lips, I went in with this Nykaa lip liner in the shade Nude, and to top it off, I used the Nykaa liquid lipstick in the shade Bombay. It's a peachy nude. Then I took this eyeshadow called Creme and I used this as my brow bone highlight. This helps to clean out the eyeshadow. And yeah, this is the final look. It's a very glam, it's a daytime glam, and it's definitely beginner friendly and easy to recreate. Okay, now let's move on to look number 2, where we are going to use the middle column, and I'm going to use this shade called Toast. It's like a orangey brown matte shade, perfect for the first crease shade or as a transition shade. So take your time to build this up. You'll have to go back and forth to see the actual color. But after this, I went in with this shade called Cedar. It is a very dark and cool toned brown, and I'm just adding it into my crease and onto my outer corner. I'm not focusing it on my lid, so I'm just leaving the middle part of my eyelid blank. And then I did the biggest mistake of using this shade with a wet brush. Please don't do this with any of the mattes. It just stained my lid and then it was difficult to blend it out. I tried my best, but yeah, I couldn't blend it that well, so it does look a bit messy, but it's okay. We are going to cover it with some concealer anyway. So we are doing an inner corner cut crease. So I'm just focusing the concealer on the inner 2/3 and leaving the outer corner blank with just that dark brown shade. This is actually the first time that I'm trying out this look. So yeah, just add some concealer to the inner corner. Then I'm taking this metallic shade called Champagne. It's a very nice and almost foiled golden shade, and I'm adding that everywhere where we put the concealer. So the concealer also helps the golden eyeshadow to pop, and as you can see, the golden shade is even more metallic and intense now. I like this technique. I tried it for the first time, and yeah, it's very unique and pretty. So after that, I took the Cedar shade and I am going to blend out the edges so that there are no harsh lines on my outer corner and where the golden shade meet. Then I took Toast and I'm working it on my lower lash line. After that, I took Cedar with a pointed brush and I'm focusing it on the outer corner of my eyelid. Then I added the Sugar Kajal and the L'Oreal Lash Paradise Mascara. For lipstick, I went in with the Oriflame lipstick. This is a very pretty dark maroonish brown shade. My mommy gifted this to me recently, and this is the final look. It's such a pretty nighttime glam red carpet sort of a look. Love it. Okay, now moving on with the last look, we are going to use the last column and I'm using the shade called Tan. It's a very pretty warm brown and this one is pigmented, so go a little light-handed with this and then build it up slowly. After this, I'm going to take the shade called Chocolate. It's such a pretty dark brown, but this one is also warm, so I'm using this onto my lid, focusing towards my lash line, and then I'm going to blend it out into my crease. Okay, now moving on with the last shade, which is called Charcoal. It's a dark black and I'm using it on a tiny little brush, and I'm going to create a winged eyeliner with this dark shade. So this will help us to create a sharp yet smoky winged eyeliner. For my lower lash line, I again went in with the shade Tan. After that, I took Chocolate and I'm using it below the tan eyeshadow. Then I took the shade Charcoal, which is a black eyeshadow, and I'm adding it to the outer 1/3 of my lower lash line. It creates such a pretty soft smoky eye look. For Kajal, I'm taking the Sugar Kajal and I'm adding it to my waterline. Mascara, I'm going in with the Nykaa Super Sizer, which is a lengthening mascara, and I'm adding it onto my upper and lower lash line. For lipstick, I'm going in with this Miniso lipstick, which I got as a Secret Santa present last year. It's a pretty berry shade, but I wanted something darker, so I took a liquid lipstick from Wet n Wild, which is so dark and brown, and this is the final look. It's such a pretty brown smoky eye, definitely my favorite look out of all three. Okay, so talking about my final thoughts, I have definitely struggled in using few of the matte shades, and with the shimmers I would say use your finger. Definitely it gives you more payoff as compared to a brush. So yeah, I'm not a fan of these three mattes. They are not super pigmented and they don't show up on my eyelid that well, so I don't like that. This column, however, I'm a huge fan of. I loved today's look. This is my favorite look, I think, so far. So you let me know which one you like the most, the daytime glam, the nighttime glam, or this smoky eye. But yeah, I think it's a very nice neutral and everyday sort of a palette. You can create more wearable and daytime sort of looks, and you can also go total bold and create such nighttime looks that I created. But overall, I would rate this palette a 4 out of 5 because I didn't like few of the mattes. Like I told you, the mirror is also also quite nice, and it's a very nice, easy to travel with. You can throw it in your purse and it's pretty sturdy, so it will stay nice and put. But yeah, is this the best eyeshadow palette that I've tried in my life? No. But is it the worst eyeshadow palette? No, definitely not. But I still think it's a bit overpriced in my opinion. But as you know, Kay Beauty also adds some good, you know, oils in it. So it has macadamia nut oil and aloe. So that's why maybe the Kay Beauty prices are higher. And also the illustration is pretty good. So the price must have gone higher. But oh my god, I have this charcoal shade on my mustache. But yeah, overall it's a nice palette. If you know that you'll get a good use out of it, then definitely go for it. And I also think this would be a great gift for someone. It is very attractive and you can create so many looks with this palette. So yeah, I'm not 100% happy with this palette because of a few shades. I had to really struggle with them. Those are all of my thoughts on this palette called Bare Soul. If you like the looks that I created, or you are happy with the swatches, or if you know that you'll use this palette a lot, then you can definitely go for it. So yeah, that completes this video. Please give me a thumbs up on this one because I have worked extra hard on this one with all of the looks. So give me a huge thumbs up, leave me a nice comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.